We are live with the 8th episode of the UnMeasured Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in and stopping by. We're here with Brennan Iselson as well, the co-host.
What is up?
We are happy to be here. Chilly day here. Chilly couple weeks here in Minneapolis. Winter has hit hard.
It's been a little brutal in the mornings, but it's okay.
Winter has been hitting hard. Apologize, I'm editing some of these, making sure that we get some of these podcasts up on, because we've been slacking. We've been
really busy this weekend.
We have 4 episodes in the process of getting them onto iTunes. We have them all on YouTube, but we're just working on getting them on iTunes and SoundCloud.
Getting them to your beautiful faces.
You're beautiful, because we know people like them on iTunes. People like to watch it on YouTube too, but it's just easiest to be able to play it in the car. But yes, we are back with the 8th episode. We didn't have like a true agenda today, but I think a cool thing to talk about today would be goals.
Yeah.
Like how you set goals, why you set goals, if you set goals, stuff like that.
Why you should set goals.
Why you should, or hey, there's some stuff why you shouldn't set goals.
True.
That I think I could talk to maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. It depends. Like some people are different.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Like you are a very goal-oriented person.
I definitely am. I wouldn't have hit goals without setting all of these goals at one time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think your first goal is? Like we just talked about the other day, you buying Snickers and being like, I'm buying my PS3.
Yep, was buying a PS3 with my own money and the little entrepreneur I was at the time.
The little entrepreneur.
I ended up doing it, and ever since then, dude, anything's been possible. And
I love it.
Hasn't been the only thing I've achieved, so
yeah,
obviously it's working for me.
How often do you think you have to set goals for your stream, and what do those look like? And not just your stream, but in life too.
In life, dude, monthly for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's those long-term goals that are a little more in the distance for reaching, but there's little things, little goals matter too. Like, I want to make my numbers go up by this much % this week, or I'm going to shoot for this many hours this week of something. You know what I'm saying?
Is that something that you can track on Twitch? Like,
oh yeah, there's a huge statistic analytics section where you can see where you were last month compared to this month.
And is that something that's provided to any streamer? Is it
any streamer who wants it? Yep.
Okay.
So anyone can click on their own stats. And then I have an extra statistic thing that emails me every day that shows me how much percentage I went up from my last stream in different categories. So
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. And it helps me notice, like, maybe I could have done this better, or maybe I could have done a lot less of this.
Do you ever think, because I mean, e-gaming has become so big.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you... I guess I don't understand e-gaming as well as you, obviously.
Yeah.
But how do different gamers differentiate themselves?
Well, at least nowadays, it's all entertainment. It's a big entertainment factor.
Right. I shouldn't even say gaming. Like,
it's an entertainment factor. I guess I can narrow it down to a couple categories. People want to watch people who are funny. That's a category. If someone's hilarious, people are going to watch that person. Good personality, hilarious. Let's kind of go into the same category.
Yep.
Then there's the elite players.
Gamers.
So not necessarily pros, but people who are above really average good. And really fun to watch. Just kill it.
And do those people at any game? They're not just playing one specific game.
And then there's one, which has kind of come up in the last couple of years, is entertainers. And I categorize entertainers because there's a couple big streamers on Twitch that literally they have like a character that they play on their live stream. Actually? Where they like dress up and play a character, and that's not who they are in real life, and they stream as that character.
Interesting.
So
and are they always the same character, or do they switch
on
it around?
stream they are, yes.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like something acting. Of its own. It's essentially your own show, if you think of it that
weird.
way.
I never knew that was a thing. Would you ever do something like that?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just kind of weird because people know who I am a lot more, where some of these other streams, they don't necessarily know everything about the real dude behind the mask or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know if I'd enjoy watching.
It's a lot different, but it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it'd be funny.
It's
for
hilarious.
Sure.
So
it'd be really funny for sure. Do you ever think about doing stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, like down the road when if I have, we're talking about goal setting right now. If I hit a milestone somewhere down the road, I would 100% like act or just dress up as something ridiculous. It's always crossed my mind for sure.
For sure. Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You never would have thought it would have been a thing or a full-time job.
No,
it's crazy.
Not. So you were saying you set your goals monthly.
Yep.
What are some, I mean, you can give examples if you want to of specific goals or just like what you're aiming for in those goals.
Progression. Definitely aiming for progression in obviously all categories, but I mean, it doesn't happen like that.
Right.
But you want to shoot for greatness, because if you don't shoot for greatness, there's not going to be, an income at the end. You're going to get
dustness.
Yep, you're going to get dustness. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of it's numbers for me. And, I tell people when they start off or if they want to start getting into the streaming game or the entertainment game, Twitch broadcast, whatever it is, content creation is what I like to call it.
For sure.
Don't worry about the numbers, because you're going to stress out. I've been there. Yep. You're going to be like, why are people not watching me? Why are people not talking in my, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry about numbers too much. So I try my best to not worry about numbers, but at the same time, it's a really good thing for me to look back on and see where I've progressed in different categories. Yeah. But yeah, I try to set a monthly, just little examples like a subscriber goal. That's not the biggest and most important thing to me in the world. Obviously, again, money's nice and it helps me able to support the stream and buy new games, new equipment and all that. But sub goals are a big one. I want to try to hit, this sub goal this month. Okay. Viewers, see if I, because
a sub goal means they keep coming back, right?
Yeah. Sub goals mean people are supporting you financially monthly.
Okay.
So they're paying money out of their own pocket to support your broadcast.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think those are awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I actually had a basketball coach throughout college who was completely against having goals.
Why is that?
He, so his big thing, is like working on your craft.
Okay.
So and this is the way I think of it. I don't know if he thinks of it this exact same way. But he thinks of it as every day, like for basketball, he would always say this: first meeting I ever had, I was like, holy crap, I'm nervous. Like, I have no idea what to expect. I walk in there, he goes, if you're just interested in basketball, go play golf. Like, we don't want you.
Wow.
He came in, he said that, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, do I want to play basketball?
Yeah.
Like, it runs through your head. And his whole thing is, if you're not completely in love with what you're doing, do something else.
Why do it?
Do something that you completely love.
I can see it from that.
And the entire thing about that is, if you're setting goals, I still don't think goals are a bad thing. Obviously not like a bad thing at all. But his whole thing is you come in and you get better every single day. Like, you're not setting a goal like, for example, like you win a championship. Like that's not a goal you put on yourself, because that just puts pressure on yourself. It's you come in, you get better daily, you get better daily, you get better daily, you get better at shooting, you get better at
the fundamentals. Okay.
And not only fundamentals, but after you work on those fundamentals, then you get your craft out of it. So like a Steve Nash, he wasn't just a point guard. He wasn't just a guy who could pass. Eventually he became Steve Nash for a reason. Yeah. Is because he put his little twist into the game.
Gotcha.
So he believed in that, and like everyone's different, so how can you put a goal on it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, so for us, it would have been like, if you put a MIAC championship up, he would always joke around about the women's basketball team would put up goals, and he would come in and he would just cross them out. He'd be like, we don't care about that. Like, we care about getting better every day. And if a championship comes out of that, that's awesome. Like, that's great for that. But the thing is, if you set a goal, then you hit that goal. It's like, all right,
what's next?
I hit that goal. Now
someone
do I
in the
make
chat
another
said
one?
never settle, no endpoints.
Yeah, exactly. If there isn't an endpoint, right?
Right. You just want to keep getting better. What's going to happen once you win the championship?
Exactly.
What am I going to do after that? What's going to be my next goal?
And here's the thing about, for example, in your stream, if you say I want 50 subscribers, right?
Yep.
Then you hit 50 subscribers. Then
you just
like,
want more, dude.
I want 60 subscribers.
It never ends.
Yeah. So then why don't you say like, I want to come to the stream and I want to be the best streamer I want, like in Twitch. I want to be the most entertaining person on Twitch. And then people will be like, man, I love what this guy's about. I love why he's streaming. I love all that stuff. Now I want to subscribe to him.
Yeah, it's a good way of thinking about it for sure. It's definitely different.
When I came into high school, I just, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think there is a right or wrong in this.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to think about for sure.
100%. I never thought of it that way.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it's very different because when you're setting goals, you're doing nothing but focusing on that one thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And when you come in and you're like, you love what you're doing, right?
Yep.
So why should you should create a environment of growth rather than creating an environment where you're putting pressure on yourself because you're like, I gotta hit this.
Dude, that makes so much sense. I never thought of it that way.
It's an interesting thought. I love it because it's so true. Like if you love what you're doing, you should push yourself to get better at it every single day. Like you shouldn't come into your stream. I shouldn't come on a basketball court thinking like, yeah, I hope I'm the same streamer today. I hope I'm the same basketball player today.
Well, it makes so much sense too because there's so many broadcasters that they only think about numbers, a lot of them. And when they're only thinking and focusing about 1-2 things and just getting past that point and then getting past the next point, it builds up and builds up and it stresses them the F out. And then they get super depressed a lot of the time and then they don't know what to do with themselves after that.
Yeah. And I think the thing I appreciate most about what Coach Novak said to me or said to the team is that you come in and you are like, you're just trying to get better and better and better. But at some point you start to put in your own
little twist to it.
So like as a basketball player, Steph Curry realized, hey, I'm a great shooter. Now I can just be all around. I can start doing floaters. I can like, you get so, you get to the point where you're increasing your skill so much that you get to do fun stuff with it.
That is,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. You master one portion of your craft that you want to dabble that into other portions of your craft.
You get to pour it into other things. So here's all right, this blew my mind. Are you ready to hear this?
I'm ready, dude.
Okay. Coach Novak came in and as a person, you're always thinking like others first, me last. That's how like a leader's supposed to think, right? He came in and he incorporated this whole entire culture change in our basketball team. And this thing, you're going to think it's crazy.
Okay.
It's called Me First For Us.
What?
Okay. So let me explain this.
Okay. Let me hear it. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So the whole thing about it, right? You have to become a better person in order to affect other people's lives. Like if you're, for example, on a basketball court, if you're just dusty, you can't catch the ball, you can't pass the ball, you can't shoot the ball, how are you supposed to make your teammates better?
True.
You can't, right? Because you're not going to see the court for one.
Yep.
And if you do, you're going to throw it just horrible passes.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is you individually get better, right?
Yep.
So in an off season, you're getting better at dribbling, you're getting better at passing, and it's fun to see yourself grow through that. And then once you get to the team aspect, you get to fit your pieces into that. So the whole thing about it is you can't help a team grow until you yourself are ready to help the team grow. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, because if at least team aspect wise, if one person's, incredible at ball handling and then there's another guy that's an incredible shooter, you kind of fit it together. You need all pieces of the chessboard to work together.
And here's the thing too, in a basketball game, if you're catching the ball and you're looking to pass it first and you're not putting pressure by looking at the rim first to say like, hey, I'm going to shoot this ball, what is the defense going to do? They're just going to sit back and relax.
Yep.
So the whole thing is my shot first, right? It makes sense in everything. You get the ball, it's always your shot. You're 90% of the time, you're probably not even going to shoot that shot.
But you gotta think you're going to shoot that shot. You gotta
make them think you're going to shoot that shot. And then next play, boom, you go to the next play. That's just, I think it kind of gives me goosebumps.
Dude,
to this
that's
day.
crazy. I'm mind blown a little bit.
It's it's a great.
Wow.
I love it. A lot of people are like, that's interesting. But so Coach Novak had us. It's funny. So he made us these huge "Me First for Us" shirts.
Yeah.
So we're walking around school and people are like, "Me first? What is like?" Those are the cockiest basketball shirts I've ever seen.
Absolutely love it.
So the whole reason behind it is so that people ask us like, "What does that mean?" Because we want it to be like beyond basketball. We want it to be in life like that. That doesn't just happen on the basketball court.
No,
we want it to be
you can
outside
implicate that to anything you want to do.
Exactly. And it just, kind of changes your mindset. And I don't think goals are a bad thing to have.
Yeah.
I think in the back of my mind was I thinking, I want a championship. Oh yeah.
Of course.
100%. 100% I was thinking that. But it was more of like I'm working towards it day by day.
It's more of I'm working towards this to get better, so in case we get to that point, then I'm ready. The best I can be for myself and my team.
Exactly. It's an interesting mindset.
I really never thought of it that way. It's like thinking opposite, but kind of not opposite, I guess.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Huh.
And yeah, exactly what you just said, like when that moment comes, and you hope it's not all for one moment. Like obviously the reason you do a thing is because you absolutely love it.
100%.
Like to death, you would want to do it. So it's not just for that one moment. It's like one thing too is, people always say like it's a grind, and it is, like it's tough.
Yeah.
But if you love what you're doing, like it's never a grind. You're coming in, you are working hard. Like I don't mind the word grind. It's like when people are like, man, this sucks, like I'm grinding.
Yeah, dude.
Like no, it's unreal that you get to be in there every single day and work on your craft.
Yeah.
And I think saying working on your craft gives it a whole nother meaning to me.
100%, because there's so much to your craft. You're not anywhere close to being perfect on your craft.
Yeah, there's never an end point. Whoever commented that is great.
Yeah.
Who commented that?
Adam Olson, the one and only.
Adam Olson.
Shout out to Adam.
Adam Olson. I really do appreciate that comment. I'm trying to read these comments and some of them are
patiently
ridiculous.
waiting for Trev to take his shirt off at any moment.
Let's go.
It gets super amped.
But that's exactly right. Like there's not an end point there, until it's all over, till what you're doing is over. Like basketball's over for me now. I don't care as much. I still love to play.
But you can implement that, for instance, to UnMeasured.
Exactly.
You know,
you can implement it to my job. You can implement
words are hard.
You can implement it to UnMeasured. Like anywhere, relationships with anything. I realized frick me. So I realized my sophomore going into junior year, like how big of an impact you have on people's lives, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you are, and whether you're using that for good or for bad.
Yeah, dude.
That's when I realized.
100% agree that I didn't notice that in my streaming career until I'd say when I was doing it consistently. It's been about 3 years now, so I've been doing it consistently on a schedule for 3 years. And when you notice you have the power to do something to better out people's lives and possibly help another person, your mindset changes completely. Because believe it or not, I mean, I don't have an insanely huge community, but I have a nice tuck and tight community that supports me every single day. And I've gotten a couple messages like, yo, Bren, you've helped me through some tough times. I appreciate the stream, all that sort of stuff. Or like, yo, man, I was super depressed, this and that. I thought about ending it all type of stuff. And I was like, man, that like when you're a content creator and someone says that to you, just like, whoa, it like hits you and it hits you hard. And you're just like,
absolutely.
What am I really doing this for? You know? And so when I wake up every morning and when I do this thing, yes, it's to, hit a goal, or we'll call it bettering my craft now. I'm never going to think about it differently now. So bettering my craft to make it full time. That's obviously the end goal, but to help people, help people get through their day, whether that's you're having a piece of crap day at school or having a horrible day at work. Who knows? You just broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, or you're having a really tough time in life. It's it's kind of a thing where I want people to feel welcomed and feel comfortable to hop in the chat,
Absolutely.
to hop in, hang out, talk a little bit, and just interact. And that's honestly what it's all about. And I'm glad I've kind of realized that now, to where I can kind of master that and get better at it and help other people out in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty sweet that people come into the chat. And
yeah, dude.
Going back to that, I just had an idea when we were talking. Going back to me first for us. Like I just said, like even in life, like I still, what is the point, like in life, if in just daily life, of having an end goal? Like there's no point.
There's no point.
You're gonna die. You're gonna whatever.
You want to get better at something else. So
yeah, you want to get better at whatever you're amazing at, whatever you're good at. You don't even have to be amazing at it. Whatever you love to do, whether it's build relationships, communicate with people, do whatever you want to do, just outside of work, outside of whatever, like master it. Work to master it. You're never gonna fully master it. It's like, and there are days where it's like it's a roller coaster. Trust me, basketball in general, you'd have days where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much better. And then you'd have the next practice and you'd be like, I'm the worst basketball player on this earth.
Why am I playing this sport?
Wait. Am I getting cut to JV? Am I down? But it's like a roller coaster, and it's not going to be like a straight line to whatever you're working towards. It's like boom.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you're telling me, bro, this is one of the hardest things to make a career in the world, and I'm kind of doing it in a sense, and just starting off, we're getting up here, you know, we're kind of climbing, but dude, I'll tell you what, it has been kind of like this, and then boom, and then we're slowly getting back up. But one of the biggest things as well for me, at least through my content creation and everything, is knowing people and meeting people and finding these new content creators. And they just started. Let's just say they just started 5 months ago, and they're already doing way better than you. It's a lot of it's a jealousy thing, and it's a really hard thing to almost knock down the second time there, but it's a really hard thing to not worry about or not think about. It's like you want to support those people because, you know, they're your friends or you enjoy their content, but in the same sense, when you've been doing it longer and may or may not have been working harder than them, you feel like you deserve that more than that person. But that's just not how it works. There's a luck factor involved too. You could talk about that for anything.
There's definitely a luck factor involved.
Oh, especially in sports, dude. Like politics in sports. Oh my gosh. If anything made me more mad in life would be probably politics in sports, dude.
Yeah, the nice part at Bethel, there was none.
That's good.
Which was awesome. Just because.
Were you guys really deep on the bench for the most part?
We had maybe 2 or 3 off the bench.
Ooh.
We were shallow.
That was shallow.
But yeah, no real politics at all. What did you just say before this?
Talking about jealousy?
Shoot, I'm so bad at remember. I need to have a little notepad here, guys, to just jot down whatever I think.
I remember I read thousands of messages a day, so I have to learn that.
Yeah. Shoot, say it one more time.
Talking about the streaming stuff where I was basically just jotting down. You got it?
Here's what I was thinking. Okay, so you were talking about the luck factor.
Yes, the luck. What luck is involved in things.
Okay. So my freshman year at college, I was like 140 pounds, super tiny. Just was like, yeah, I'll go up for the team and see what happens. And for about the first week of practice, I didn't see the court. I stood on the sideline and I watched. I was like the only guy that didn't get in the scrimmage. I would just watch the scrimmage happen.
So how devastating was that to you, going from basically playing your entire life and starting pretty much almost every game to not seeing the court? How did that feel?
It sucks. You right away you kind of like let it get at you, but it's also like a hunger thing.
Yeah, like what's going through your mind? Like what's the next step going through your mind in that situation? Because you know you deep down know you are better than someone else on that court and that you deserve that spot. Yeah.
And at that point you don't know what you can do at the college level. Like I knew what I was capable of doing, but it's about going out and actually doing it.
Yeah, it's a different level for sure.
I didn't know, like I had no expectations. I was like, I'm pretty happy to be on varsity right now. I didn't think I was gonna make varsity. I thought I was gonna be a JV guy starting out. And so I was just standing there. I was like, man, I just want one, like the last minute of practice. I want just to, more than anything, I just wanted to play. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter about beating guys out. Like, that's just the competitive nature of it. Once you get on the court, you'll want to do that. But you're learning a new offense. You're learning everything where it's like, just soak it all in for a little bit. Soak it in and try to take what these older guys are doing. But there's a piece of you that's like, give me a shot here. Right? Like, give me one shot. And going back to the luck thing, I got like the last 3 minutes of practice, and I'm not kidding you, like did pretty well. But like the luck thing, you get 2 minutes to show what you're capable of, right? And in those 2 minutes, I probably got a couple steals, like showed that I can keep up with speed. But the luck of it was like getting a couple steals, getting like, who knows if that stuff happens in that 2 minutes, and I don't showcase it. And from then on, I got to keep playing with the guys and got to keep playing, and then work your way up and work your way up. But Coach Nowak never made it he's brought this up like multiple times, this story. Just like, yeah, I had Trevor sitting on the sideline. I would call other guys in, and I would never call him in. And he does stuff where he, I think he's purposely trying to get you going and like get a little fire going underneath you. And I don't know if he was doing that for me. Maybe, but probably not. I was 140 pounds. He was probably like, I'm leaving this eighth grader on the sideline. But yeah, the luck piece is huge. Like you get certain things at a certain time. It's true. And
I mean, I've definitely had one of those opportunities where, believe it or not, my favorite streamer 2 years ago, hosted me up and got a bunch of support from that, and there's still people to this day from that raid, which is crazy to me. It's just a matter of luck a lot of the time. Yep. You can work as hard as you want. I work my butt off, so it's not like I don't work. I mean, I'm streaming 60 hours a week, nearly full-time streaming, basically, and then sometimes you get tossed a bone, sometimes you don't, man. That's how it works.
Yeah, and talking about a roller coaster, I went from like getting better on as a freshman to like starting some games, and then end of the year I was sucking. I was playing really bad, and like and the thing that I had to learn was I can't be doing this but also have my emotions be doing this. I have to stay steady on one of those.
Composed.
And the like basketball is not always going to be that. So I can control what I'm thinking and how I'm emotionally feeling sometimes, like outwardly expressing that. I can control that. And I had to learn, all right, how do I stay composed when I'm having the worst game of my life? Because I know it's going to happen again. Now, how do I just not let it? I want it to be where no one can tell it's bothering me. Yeah. So that's where I wanted to get to. And I think I'm getting there still, where I don't want people to know if I'm having a crappy day or the best day of my life. Sometimes
it happens.
Oh yeah. I get way overjoyed and way too low on stuff. But what I want to continue to work towards, and this is what I want to continually grow at in life, is just becoming more steady. Where if I have the suckiest day at work, I come home and I'm still the same guy I was when I had the best day the other day.
Yeah, because I mean, this can go for anything too. Why let? I mean, I'll call them little things, but why let little things such as that make an effect on your whole day? You know what I mean? Why make that the biggest deal of your day? I mean, for instance, me, where I was like stressing out last week and just like I wasn't sleeping because I just wanted to get this thing done and like do the best job I could at work and do all that stuff, and I was letting that get to me, and I was getting super stressed out, and I let it ruin my whole day nearly.
Yeah, it's so easy to let things like that control you. But the thing I've learned is like to focus on stuff you can control. Like I can focus how much effort I put into things. I can focus how intentional I am with relationships. I can focus on all that stuff. But the consequences sometimes I can't control. Yeah. Like say something, I mean, a product goes down or something like that, right? A baby gets hurt in a baby gate.
Oh, jeez.
Like you can't control that stuff. Yeah. And you can only control how you respond to it. So I've I'm trying to learn how to get better at that and accept whatever's going on and then try to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And try to see those things coming. Like some consequences you won't be able to see coming, and some things that you won't be able to see coming. But try to like anticipate some of those things. True.
And just not overreacting to the situation, because a lot of the time in the heat of the moment, you just want to just let it all out or just express how you're feeling in that moment. Yeah. And I feel like it's a hard thing for people to really channel that, because I mean, that's why, I mean, you look, there's a little hole in the wall over there, broken controller here and there.
I'm sure. How many controllers have you broke?
From throwing, maybe one. Okay. I'm not that bad.
Do you like hit it or?
So when I was really serious, like about just like, no, I was the best and no one else was the best type of thing. Yeah. I would like squeeze the controller really hard or just like, just toss it lightly over. I wasn't too bad, but it's, I don't know. When I'm competitive, I guess, sometimes it really gets to me. Most of the time it doesn't. Obviously it doesn't really affect me much anymore, but I mean, sometimes it happens, and you know, just not just video games, but just in being a competitive person. I think most dudes are like that, where anything competitive just gets your juices rolling a little bit, and sometimes it slips out a bit. But.
Oh yeah, there's been times for sure. One thing going back, we kind of hit on it earlier, but setting a goal, to me, makes me lose the everyday, like that getting better piece. Like if I get so consumed in that, I just get lost. I've done it before. I do it. I did it in basketball. Like we lost to St. Thomas one year, and I was like, man, all I'm gonna do is work to get back to those guys. And you get so focused on beating St. Thomas that you're like, you become a worse basketball player, because you're like, you're so focused on their team that you're not focused on yourself getting better. It's
man,
like,
that's such a good little like thought process. Like, just like analyzing yourself and how you're going to handle this situation to affect future situations. Yeah, because it's going to
happen again.
Oh yeah,
it's going to happen in something else other than basketball and streaming. So why not just get ready for it?
And that's a big one too. Is why I try not to focus on like a sub count or a viewer count as much. I've honestly thought about just turning it off and not worrying about it, but it's just so hard because you really just want to see where you're at. Yeah. And not have to worry about that. But but now that I think about it differently, and in the moment right now, just. Why should I worry about that? You know, why should I worry about that to the extent where it's like, should I even be streaming today? You know?
Yeah. What you should be more focused on, I think, is what people are saying, not what they're saying about the stream necessarily, but like, hey guys, what could I do better? Hit me up.
So here's a little thing I read last year he's been doing Twitch for close to 8-9 years. Okay. Or I wouldn't say on Twitch, but he's been a content creator and streaming on different websites for 8 to 9 years. It was a Reddit article, and he was basically saying how a lot and most content creators that are starting out don't focus on what's in front of them. They're always focusing on the future, on the setting goals, which is crazy that we're talking about this now, because he literally said that, talking about setting goals in the future and getting better and making it to the top, where they have people that watch them. They have people that support them. So why don't you just focus on those people that are making your stream better? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I read that and I was like, wow, that's a great way of thinking about it. Like why stress yourself out over, let's just say a newer viewer comes into the stream or a couple new people stop in. Yes, interact with people, but stay focused on the people that have been here for a long time and support you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a good thought for sure. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. I love the mindset. I think it's sweet.
It gives you chills, dude.
Yeah. It gave me chills, and it just like the working on your craft piece makes you excited to go do it again.
It makes me, this is what it initially made me think is, wow, I can go a lot harder, or I can go a lot harder in this category and focus so much more, because I know I'm better at this than this. Yeah. You know, I'm better at A, then I could work on B later on after I master A. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I love it, and it makes you, like I just said, like I never wanted to leave the gym. Like he made practices fun because like, and I'm sure other guys didn't like it as much, but they didn't have the same passion for basketball.
Didn't love it as much.
Yeah, they just didn't. They had other desires, and that's cool. Like that's what I loved about that coach too. Is like kids would come in and quit, and they'd say, "I just don't love basketball." He'd be like, "That's awesome. Go find what you're passionate about and do the same thing." And I love that because there was no bitterness. Like, oh, you're quitting basketball. Like you should have stuck with it. Well, like yeah, he wanted kids to stick with it because he loved having them around and loved having them in that culture. But ultimately, guys are gonna go. And there was a kid that literally was like, "I'm going to hang out. I don't hang out with these friends enough." And he's like, "That's awesome. Go do it. Like if you love doing that, go do it." It's awesome. It's a sweet culture. I hope. Like I wish everyone had that same culture that I got to experience.
Yeah, that's a cool experience.
So cool.
Thanks for sharing, bud.
Yeah, no, it was epic. I absolutely loved it. What are people saying on the pod?
Great looking potty, looks serious. Good old stuff. Good comments, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good old feedback.
I'm trying to think. Anything else? You have anything else on goals? Goal related?
I was just gonna like touch up on the part of taking it serious and do you love it, because I think about that daily. Like I feel like people get into stuff for the wrong reasons, whether or not it's just I want to try this or not, or I want to make a lot of it's I want to make money doing this sort of thing. And a big one, because I love playing games. I've loved that my whole life. I've grown up watching people progress from nothing to just doing it full time as an occupation. Yeah. Got a microphone falling down here.
we got microphone two
going down here. But yeah, of taking it serious, and do you have a passion enough for it? Because if you don't have that true passion for something, why are you doing it? Yeah. What's the point of going into that something if you truly do not love that thing, or truly do not have a full desire and passion for it? Because if you don't, a lot of the time you're not going to succeed. Yeah. Whether it's little success or big success, there's a big milestone and a big difference, and you can tell when someone doesn't love or doesn't have passion for that one thing. Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. And just daily getting to work on that craft makes you want to work so much harder for it. And not stressing about what your goal is. Oh yeah, like, I mean, I have a huge problem with that sometimes. Yeah. I did too. I was like, I just want to beat St. Thomas. Right? Like, it's stupid. It's little things too, just tiny little goals. Now that you think about it, like it's not even the big things. It's like, just like, wow, why am I not getting this done? Or I know I'm better than this. Yeah, I can do this better. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Well, that was 42 minutes right there. That was so quick. That was quick, man. But yeah, if anyone has any other thoughts while we kind of sum it up here, go ahead and comment. Feel free to comment in the chat and stuff like that while we're closing her down. But yeah, I think that's huge. The main takeaways from today would be: don't focus on the end goal, because there is none. Focused on the craft that you have in front of you. Focus on getting better at your craft, and focus on how you can be unique in it. Like a basketball player, like a streamer, being unique with that stuff, whatever you're doing. Add your own flavor. And it doesn't have to be different. It's just whatever you're best at. Yeah, whatever. Everyone's different, or everyone's better at something else than another person. And as you keep working at that, then stuff comes out of that, like, this would be cool. Like, and then do what you have a passion for. Yeah. Do what, I know it's not, everyone grows up in a different situation, but you know, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna do what it takes to get to that thing. Yeah. And here's the thing too. Some of the best things, the biggest things have come from screw ups. Some football plays have come from screw ups. The best, like a flea flicker, who knows if that was a fumble rooski that wasn't like that. Some of the best plays, though, I'm not kidding. I remember hearing a story about like John Elway's team. They completely screwed up a play and scored on it. The coach was livid, and then he was like, wait, that might work. So then they incorporated those into a playbook. And as you keep going, you'll see stuff that doesn't work and why it doesn't work. And then you'll see, oh, maybe this will work. That's a good thing you bring up. we follow Gary Vee, and I was looking at one of his things, and he was saying, F up on purpose. That's what he's saying, or mess up on purpose. Yeah. Because when you mess up on purpose, you could see a potential path to success that you maybe would not have seen if you didn't try that path.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to say like mess up on purpose.
Right? Isn't that hard, weird to think about?
And I don't even know if you have to mess up on purpose, but like as you continue to try those new things, you're gonna mess up.
I would say try new things instead of messing up on purpose. But not. I get where he's coming from. Thing, yeah. I get where he's coming from because just trying new things, you're not gonna be successful in trying every single new thing. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's. Unless you got something else, I think we
just crushed it. So
that's one that I'd always love to talk about again, and I'm sure we will, because
there's just so much more to go in depth with in that tiny avenue.
And I think for not having an agenda today, that was a pretty sweet thing to talk in. But as always, we do appreciate you guys stopping in. We do have a t-shirt giveaway going on for probably like what? 10, 12 more days?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd extend it probably like another week and a half. So make sure you guys get your votes in. It's going to be our pin tweet on Twitter. So go follow us at UnMeasured Pod.
That's right.
It's a Gleam giveaway. So click that Gleam link. Follow us on social media. You'll be entered for one of 3 t-shirts. So we're giving away a couple of those.
That's right.
And it's free. So, I mean, free t-shirt.
Go check it out. We have been a little behind on the podcast. We're struggling.
It was a busy weekend for me and Trev, so we'll be getting those up on iTunes really soon, guys. So if you want to listen to it during works, school, working, homework, whatever, all of that stuff.
We want it everywhere for you guys. So, yeah. With that being said, I don't really have anything else to talk about today.
I think we did good for not having a full true set topic, but it turned into something pretty good.
Turned into some fire.
Something I learned today that I never would have thought of.
I always, that's why I want to get more into reading and more into like listening to podcasts. It's because I want to hear more stuff like this where it's like challenging what you think and why. Because goals, okay, here's something. Maybe. It might turn into something, but maybe not. Goals were set up by, like, they're not natural. They're set up by society because you have a goal to hit 50 subscribers because Twitch made a thing where you could get 50 subscribers.
Yeah.
The reason we want to do it is to get better every day, and that's natural. Competition is natural. You want to get better every day, better than who you were 10 seconds ago, the day before, whatever. It's not natural to want to get 50 streamers. You might have seen someone else be like, we're trying to hit this sub goal today. That's what everyone does, right? Like, why does someone want a championship? Because someone else got a championship.
Gotta be different.
Yeah. So I think it's about that too. But that's my last thought. Stuff just keeps popping into my head.
You gotta write these down.
And it might not even be good stuff, but
I mean, you never know. Maybe I'll have a little.
But it's stuff that I think about.
Right?
Never know. I just hope someone picked up something today.
I did.
Because I pick up something every day in this thing.
Yeah, dude.
In this podcast today.
This was a big one for me, at least.
I love it. All right, guys. Moral of the story, keep working on your craft, whatever it is out there. Keep crushing it. Brennan and I will keep working on our craft.
Always.
And trying to focus on things we can control.
That is true.
For sure. But we do appreciate you guys stopping in. This is Trevor.
And Brennan.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 8th UnMeasured Podcast. We will see you guys later.
Goodbye.
Bye.